iReviewGear.com here, checking out this Hoffman 8-inch Explorer boot, a new introduction into the hunting and hiking market from Hoffman. They've long been a producer of great work boots, but now they're going into the hunting us hiking boot. This is the 8-inch Explorer uninsulated. I've started with the laces undone because I want to kind of take you through a complete look at this boot. First thing you should be able to see is I can pull these laces easily and it cinches down 2 layers, which is great. So what I like to do with a boot like this, particularly this Hoffman, is lean my leg back. You can see I've leaned it back and that allows these to flex closed. Tighten it here a little bit. Come across with these good laces till it's snug. Put it in that grommet and that will lock in the tightness from the lower part of my boot. Then from there I keep my leg flexed backwards, and you can see with this Hoffman it just easily laces up, folds the tongue in place, gives me a good snug fit up my ankle, not too tight. I then like to do a double loop on these, 1, 2, and then that will never slide or come undone, and then you can still easily pull it and get it undone versus a double knot. So that's a good way to lace up that boot. So you can see that those grommets on this Hoffman boot work great. Cinches down here to keep this consistent, and then easy to get the laces on these other ones. Cinches up nice and doesn't carry a lot of extra stuff in the ankle that wads up here. It seals up really nice and well. You can see that this boot has the full rubber rand all the way around, a good Vibram sole. It's a typical high-end hunting boot where they're stiffer at first. When you put them on, you think, wow, that's a stiff boot. But man, there's nothing more important than hiking through rocks, shale, across any kind of rough terrain. It's so important to have that little bit stiffer feel through the boot. It just eliminates all the abuse the bottom of your foot takes from rocks and other things you step on. You know, if I were to be hiking and walked across the rocks that size or even bigger, it's just no impact to my foot, which I love about this Hoffman boot. It's got a really nice insole in it, which is not typical of any boot that you get, but I really like this Hoffman insole that they've thrown in it. I'm going to really quickly, if I can keep you in the camera, take my shoe off, pull out this insole, and you'll see it's far above average for any boot. It's got a lot of absorption and padding in it. It's got a nice high arch that fits my foot well. So well done on that, Hoffman. You've put in an insole that does not immediately need upgraded, which I love. I've been hiking with this Hoffman boot now for about a month, and I've taken it in some pretty nasty terrain. I'm in some crappy terrain right now with the shale hillside behind me that I just got hiking. And what I noticed is I just don't feel any pressure in my foot. When I tighten it up and lace it up right, it gives me good lateral stability through my ankle and through the rest of the boot, so I'm not worried about twisting an ankle or tipping over. Because of the firm sole, it digs in well. So the combination of a very firm midsole, which is made of nylon, and a good sole by Vibram, it gives you quite a bit of rigidity and stiffness in this boot, which is really important in absorbing tough terrain and not feeling that in the bottom of your foot. It's also important in scaling tough terrain. Keeping that boot stiff, you can dig in, keeps the boot flat on the ground, bites in well. You can traverse through shale and other things with these stiffer midsole and sole boots better than you can a boot that's more flexible. They just work better. It also gives you, carries the stiffness through the ankle here and gives you some lateral stability, which is also important for tough terrain. Comes with nice leather, and then in addition, this part is all padded and flexible, so it feels good on your ankle and foot. And it's not overwhelming clear up into here. It just really stiffens up through the ankle really well. Like I say, I've used it now for about a month. Variety of terrain. It's held up well. The rand protects the boot well. Good Vibram sole. tongue that lays down well, super shock absorbing, don't feel that pain into my foot at all when hiking in tough terrain, and then good ankle support. We definitely give this boot a buy and rank it right there with the best of the high-end hunting boot, you know, which would include your Kenetrex, Crispies, Zamberlan, Schnees, those boots. This ranks right there with them. We'd consider it definitely a buy and a boot that you should consider for your outdoor hiking and hunting needs. So good job, Hoffman. This is a great boot that people should definitely consider.